Great. So tonight we're going to talk about the Tower Garden transition. And I think, it's actually going to be a good thing. In the beginning, I was a little concerned about it. But if it tells you anything, I think I'm the one that's going to be affected most financially by it in negative ways. But in the long run, I think it will be a better thing for all of us. So I hope that gives you some encouragement that you should be excited about it too. And you'll see more as I keep going. But I sent out the document called Tower Garden Transition Background and FAQs. This was sent to all of us via email, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through it with us tonight, but if you have not reviewed it, please do. I think the bottom line, now that I've been on 4 or 5 of these phone calls, is that they really tried to analyze the Tower Garden sales amongst partners, Juice Plus partners. And what they realized was that it may not be the best business model for Tower Garden as a product. And it may not be the best business model for us to have the ability to sell more towers. So I'll explain more as we go forward, but I really do believe they're doing something good, even though none of us really love change. But bottom line is they're taking Tower Garden away from the Juice Plus business model and allowing all of us to still be affiliated with it and share it. But it will be a different business model. And I'm using that word over and over, but I want you to understand business model means compensation plan. So we're not going to have a tiered system any longer where Severn makes a little bit off what Brenda sells and Melanie makes, or Brenda makes a little bit off what Melanie sells. It's just a flat tier. Hopefully that's starting to make a little bit of sense. And we're going to keep this interactive. So I'm not presenting to you. I'm just trying to get us started on the right foot. So a flat business model, we can all be affiliates. There's not going to be any cost to be an affiliate, which I thought was interesting. So let's say Jim comes to Melanie in October and says, I think this Tower Garden is amazing and I want to share it with some people. Can I become an affiliate with you? And Melanie can say, absolutely, send him the link and he can sign up. But it won't necessarily help Melanie that Jim's signing on. It's just a free opportunity for him to share Tower Garden and become an affiliate. The only thing I can describe it as, maybe y'all have some better things that you can affiliate it with, is how many of you have friends that have a Amazon page? I have like 5 or 6 now. And they have a page where they're selling 4 or 5 of their favorite products, and they get maybe 5% for every time somebody sells or buys one of those products from their page. That's kind of what it's going to look like. We're going to have a Tower Garden page or website, and they're going to be able to order from us. We're going to have discount codes, which is going to be new and different. So let's use a example of Brenda's going to do a big trade show in Smyrna, and it's all homeschoolers. So she can go to Tower Garden and say, I'm going to do a trade show and I want to have a coupon code so that everybody that comes to my booth can scan a QR code and get 20% off. And they will give that to her. So I think, I hope I'm not going into too much of a rabbit hole. I think that the big thing that we have to wrap our heads around is it will just be a completely separate affiliation. It'll be a flat line affiliation. In other words, Severn doesn't make anything off Brenda or Melanie because they're my downlines. I just make a flat percentage, and I'm going to show you those percentages here in just a second. And thank you, Melanie, for raising your hand. And I make percentages off volume. Okay, so if I sell 1 tower, I get X percent. If I sell 10 towers, I get a different percent. I'm going to show you those volume discounts, or excuse me, commissions here in a second. Melanie, I know it's clear as mud, so you tell me your question.
Yeah, 2 questions. 1, can you tell me more about why they did this? And 2, does that mean the price is going to be lowered some?
Great questions, both of them. Why they did this, I tried to start out with it, but I probably didn't spend enough time, is that not enough Juice Plus partners are selling Tower Gardens. And what has happened is there's a person that manages a budget for Tower Gardens. His name is James Kaufman. And as long as James Kaufman is under the business model of Juice Plus, he has very limited resources to do additional marketing, to give discounts, to do, I don't know, just some more competitive things in the marketplace. Let me give you an example. How many of you know a couple of our competitor products? Melanie, what was the name of that product that your person bought?
Garden?
Garden. That is probably the biggest competitor, but there's a couple of others out there. They ran a Father's Day special, almost $200 off their towers. We've never had that kind of deep discounts, but what we're going to do in the future is have those kind of discounts because we'll be separate and because they won't be spending as much on the multi-level compensation plan. So they figured out that some of the monies that the NMDs are making off of Tower Gardens that may not be selling them and definitely are several layers deep, they could save that money and use that money towards marketing and towards other tools that would help us sell more towers. Is that starting to make a little sense, Melanie?
Well, I get that. That's why I wondered if they like did a study and saw that, oh, other people are selling a whole lot more towers because it's not competitive because of pricing. And it's hard to, if you can't get somebody to be an affiliate without doing all this other stuff, they don't want to
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
That's why I wondered if on this, my second question was, does the price then change
The
at all?
price is not going to come down immediately. They're just going to offer us more specials and more discount codes. So it actually will look less to your buyer, but it'll still start out at the same price for now, as far as we know. And this document that I think Melanie sent, or that Brenda sent you, gives you a little bit of the background on the study and how many people were selling towers and how few were and so forth. So if you want to go back to that, you can see a little bit more history. But yeah, I think you're getting it.
Well, one thing too, I don't know if they have any kind of a competitive analysis, like with Luminate, for example, doing a competitive thing with Monster and, Circle or whatever these other things are. Because I've seen some of the ones and they look like they're a total ripoff of the Juice Plus design. Some of them do, but I don't know the quality. Like, is it food grade plastic? Is it going to last 20 years? That sort of stuff. So I don't know if there's been any kind of competitive thing or if there was a reason to do it before, but maybe that could be part of it.
Yeah, I don't know all the details there, but I do know the way that James Kaufman said it in the calls that I've been a part of is we have a much more superior product. But when the person is looking to make a purchase and it's $200 less with Garden, they're going to go with the lower price.
Yeah, I've lost 3 like that. So
right. So
these were
to
friends.
answer your
That's what's so
question,
bad.
a couple of the other products are actually hanging their head on being recycled materials instead of food grade plastic. And if you really dive into recycled materials, they're leaching into the food, and that's very harmful to the food that you're growing. So I believe that, and hopefully that stuff will come out more and more as we split off and get more funding for competitive analysis. But I believe that our product is genuinely the better product on the market, but we're losing out because of their pricing model and their deep discounts, The other thing that I'll tell you that doesn't really affect us today, but it could affect you in the future is we had several big opportunities. Let me just use the example here locally. Charlotte Mecklenburg School District was looking to add a Tower Garden to every school. And I was working with a lady in Charlotte who's one of my partners to help her do this. And they pulled the trigger at the last minute and said, we can't work with the MLM company. The school district is not allowed to do that. Whether or not that's true, who knows? But bottom line is, it was a stumbling block for them to move forward with, almost 1,000 towers for all these schools. So I guess that, and that's a personal experience that I went through with my partner. But I believe that's been happening in other situations across the country in larger scale volume, where we wanted to help somebody get these towers in and they couldn't because of the business model that we were a part of. Make sense?
Yeah, I've got a question, Reverend. Before, were we, I thought we weren't, I thought the money didn't trickle up. So was I wrong?
It's interesting that you bring it up, Lynn. I thought the same thing. And they showed some of the numbers to some of us who were ACRs, and there was some trickle up going on. So there's a certain amount of money that would really help James Kaufman market these more effectively for us, give us more discounts. And it's a bucket of about, I don't know, maybe $100,000 a year that's going to different uplines that he will be, basically eliminating over the next year and using that money towards, and they typically haven't been involved in the sale at all, and they're not supporting the sale at the Tower Garden. They're just, getting some residual income from it.
Yeah, it does concern me that the discount thing, if
Mhm.
we become a coupon company. What you're talking about, like with the school system or in a fair situation, that completely makes sense to me. But if I were looking to buy one and I needed to get coupons, I would never buy it full price, and I would be versus growing the value of it. It's a different mindset.
It is. It is. I trust James Kaufman and Travis, who have been working on this together for over 6 months, trying to figure out the best solution for the long-term longevity of the product. And I believe they're making the right decision, but I don't understand all the ins and outs. So I am definitely not going to be able to answer all your questions tonight. I'm just going to get us started. And then tomorrow night, James Kaufman is doing the Gardens of the Galaxy call with all the details, and the assets will be available after that. In other words, the documentation in writing. And he's doing that with a partner, a Juice Plus partner that is a Tower Garden, big seller, if you will. So it's not just from his perspective, it's also, a partner that's going to be sharing with him. But I think this is all good discussion. I mean, I certainly had my questions, and I still do have my questions. But I believe that the biggest thing they're trying to do is sell more towers and help us, do that with some competitive pricing. And I don't think there's going to be coupon codes right and left. Maybe we spent so much time on that. I think they're going to do that for special holidays and things, and or gift opportunities. But yeah, maybe people wait till the next holiday to have their tower. I don't know how that actually affects overall sales. But I get your concern, Lynn.
Well, I know
Yeah.
in Juice Plus, when they've had a couple of the promotions, one being the partner cost, but I don't think that's an issue because it's such a small amount of money to begin with. But when they've offered, like if you sign up as a partner and you get this, or you order, 15 things of the complete and you get a box of bars, whatever the thing has been, they've had a few of those, and I haven't necessarily seen people push back, but I don't have that many customers, to say this is a hindrance or this is devaluing the product, because I totally understand that. I don't want to be, that's why Bed Bath and Beyond is out of business.
Yeah, that's a good
as a
example.
retailer, I never buy anything full price.
Right.
So,
And we want there. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Severin, I have a question reading through this page. I had never seen this before, so I thank you so much for sending it.
Sure.
Like you said, maybe they sent it to us and I just never saw it. But it looked like the installment pricing was going to go away. Was I correct on that?
You know what, the way I read it, and it's a good question. So on page 2, it says, what about installment sales? And the way I read it was people who are currently on installments can continue to pay out their installments. They're not going to take that away. And we will continue to get paid on those. So let's say we sell a Tower Garden today and it's, going to be a monthly of $70 a month. We will continue to get paid on those with the current model. However, what I thought they were trying to do was, yeah, I don't see anything there about future sales. I think that's all about current sales on installments, Lynn.
Couldn't quite tell if that, come September, it was, one price or not, or if they were trying to make the point about the compensation. But,
Yeah. I read it as compensation and that we will continue. I think that's one of the selling points of the Tower Garden is that you can pay for it monthly.
Absolutely. I think if they do away with that, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I don't think that's the plan.
Yeah.
Well, that was my question is, I get they'll do occasional specials, but if the Tower Garden is always going to be $200 or $300 more than our closest competitor, other than the fact that Tower Garden is a superior product, that's not what a lot of people shop on.
yeah, I think that just makes, Melanie, for me, and I'm in a whole different, I do some mindset coaching and I'm in a farmers coaching program. And if you go and get heirloom products, you'll pay $7, $8 for a head of lettuce. I mean, people will pay that because they know what they're getting. So the onus is on us to really educate the value. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting the people that I have that I've run across that say, "Oh, I bought one of those things, but I really want yours."
Yeah.
So, like,
But they
it's
don't
kind-
say that until afterwards.
Yeah, they've already bought one.
They went, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I told you that."
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see how Jose feels about this. I doubt if she's going to be the partner on the thing tomorrow, but most of her stuff has been, she
Yeah.
sold it herself, kind of thing. So it might not affect her as much as somebody that's just, and $100,000 for the whole company of commission roll-ups, is not, I was thinking you were going to say, $1 million or something like
Oh,
that.
no.
But
It's not a lot of money.
$100,000, that, number one, that's not a lot of money to play with for marketing to begin with, but so it shouldn't affect most of them. I'm assuming Jose did hers just
Well, and
herself.
yeah, and I think when she talked about it, she didn't really want to have a team. It was
Yeah.
people that were like, "No, I want to sell this," and so
Right.
in a way, this model. I mean, from what I understood, it's like the model just didn't quite fit with our Juice Plus product, and that makes sense to me. And I think there's a lot of people who would think, "Oh, this is great. This is what I really want."
Mhm.
Yeah,
I didn't want that other teams and
Right.
figuring
right.
sell a product and move on. Kind of. I mean, you still want to have customer care to some degree. I mean, I find with the
Yeah.
Tower Garden need some customer care, but it's not. I get people who periodically, "Oh, somebody just ordered more minerals or whatever."
Mhm.
Proper education, the first part, they're pretty self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that they did change, and I'm going to pull this up because we're running out of time. Let me know if y'all can see it. Okay. It's just a quick chart that they will give you tomorrow. Can y'all see that Excel spreadsheet? Let me see if I can
Yeah.
make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm just focused on this little bit right here. And how can I make that bigger, Brenda?
Yep, you should have a Zoom thing. Right. Nope, that's fine.
That's
I'm
nice.
sitting here clicking. I'm clicking it and it's not doing anything.
View,
phone.
Yeah.
normal. Oh, let's go up here to Zoom.
Yeah.
To
To Zoom and do it like 200%.
see what happens. Okay, yeah. So what they wanted you to know was that anybody on the fence about joining and sharing Tower Gardens, you want them to sign up before August 1st. So those of us are everybody on the phone is a partner now. And basically, we're starting at 22% on the tower portion. So let's think of it as the tower only, $670 as our example, and or the home, 1,020. So you're getting the 22%. So we're going to start 4% higher than the people after August. And you'll see in a second that we're actually going to get paid on accessories in the future, which we weren't
Right,
always
yeah.
paid on some of those.
Right.
So everybody's going to come in, or, if you have not sold one tower this year, you're going to start at 22%. If you've sold one or bought one tower in 2024, you're going to start at 25%. If you've sold more than 10 units, you're going to be at 30%. And that's still throughout the year. So let's say you've sold, 5 or 6 and you get above 10, then you move up to the 30% for those units as you sell them. So it's a flat commission structure on the tower portion. Let's say Lynn sold over 10 units in 2024, she's at 30%. In order for her to keep it, she has to maintain at least 2 units a year. So she doesn't have to keep selling 10 every year. She has to sell 2 every year to keep her 30%. This is something interesting. They have a volume bonus. So this is going to be completely separate. No, volume in the Juice Plus world. This is just volume in the Tower Garden world. So think of it as $670 for a Tower Garden Flex. If I sell 10 of those, that's total volume of $6,700, correct? Total volume, 670 times 10 equals 6,700.
Right.
So I'm over the 5,000. I earn an extra $250 when that first sale goes over 5,000.
So commissionable volume is the $1,000. Not, since we don't have the discounts or anything. I mean, the commission and the wholesale price and all this other stuff. We
just have the value of what you're paying commission on, which is the 670 or the 1,020.
Okay. All right.
I guess I don't have it on here, but I have it in my notes somewhere. They're going to pay us commission on the accessories. Let me see what I wrote down. I guess we're going to have to get that tomorrow. I don't have the details in my notes about the accessories.
So August 1st, when they're shipping some of this stuff,
Yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
I was thinking it was August 31st. This is August 1st, so.
It is August 1st.
Yes.
Mhm. And that was in this document as well.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that it was too, but I wondered if this was an old document.
No, yeah, we're all talking about August 1st. I just heard this. They did a call with us as Tower Farm Sales, ACRs, on Thursday or Friday of last week. So this is pretty up to date. So the people that join after August 1st, and again, I'm going to use the example of Jim in Melanie Circle, who wants to sell towers. He would come in at 18% until he sells 5 units. Doesn't matter if the unit's a flex or a home. And then he would go up to 22%. You can see how this number works. And then up to 25%, and then up to 30%.
Well,
Go ahead.
Since they're changing all this, does that mean we can now tell people that we're doing it since it's not multi-level marketing anymore?
That we're doing it?
Yeah.
I don't understand that point. What do you mean doing what?
We are very restricted on how we promote that we're doing this. So if we're taken out of the multi-level marketing structure, can we now promote?
You can totally promote. And what have you felt like your hands have been tied that you couldn't promote? Help me understand.
I don't know. I just, in the initial rules, we weren't supposed to do anything other than just posting that we had stuff. we couldn't do any really marketing, full out marketing. I don't know why. I just remember that in the initial thing, you had to be careful about how you were telling people what you were doing.
Lynn, what were you saying?
I'm wondering if you mean like advertising, like taking out an advertisement?
Yeah,
Is that what you?
that would be one of the ways.
Because I feel like I've promoted just Tower Garden, here, there, and yonder, but I've not paid for things. Like done flyers or things like that. But
I do think it's an interesting thought process, just to piggyback on both of y'all's. I don't know the answer to the question, Melanie, but what I do think is that the person who signs up today has to read up, what is it, about 6 pages of rules and regs to be a Juice Plus partner and agree to those. When you become an affiliate to a product, it's usually a very quick process.
Right.
They're not going to have all these rules and regs because it's a very different business model. So I believe you're going to have a lot more freedom if you were feeling like your hands were tied before. I never really felt like my hands were tied. I share with everybody that, I sell Tower Gardens, and, I put it on Facebook and Instagram and all the stuff. I might not, the only thing I might not do is put the comp plan out there, how they would get paid on social media. That might be the only thing. So I don't know that that would really make sense to do in either situation, but good question. I think there's going to be a lot less rules and regulations when you're an affiliate.
and
And I
Melanie,
think there's going to be a
Yeah.
flat comp plan, like what you're saying here. What were you going to
Yeah.
say, Lynn?
well, there is more compliance with Juice Plus because it's something.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you are right, Melanie, that there are things that you're like, oh, we may be more reticent. We haven't been. Okay, I'm gonna see if I'm understanding this right. So somebody signs on as a Juice Plus rep tomorrow or July 15th.
Mm-hmm.
They can come in at that 22%,
Mm-hmm.
even if they've never sold a Tower Garden.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I understand, yeah, from this.
And if they go ahead and buy a tower, for themselves, then they're getting up to the 25%.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. And then come August 1st, they're going to go back down to this 18%. And there's not going to be any exceptions to the rules. They're going to have a flat plan. This is how it works. And we're going to move forward, Now, Juice Plus, Tower Garden will still be owned by Juice Plus, but they're not going to be joined at the hip like they were. So when we go to conference, we go to events, Tower Garden will not be there. That will not be their product. They'll have separate gatherings and marketing materials and things. Travis, the way I understand it is it still trees up to Travis, but he's just separating the business models so that they're clearly distinct from one another because they're going to be paid differently. So we'll see how this pans out. I'm not sure that we understand it all today, but I think the most important thing is if you have somebody sitting on the fence about maybe getting a Tower Garden and wanting to sell a few, that they should go ahead and get signed up. And it's only $10 right now too. That's pretty much a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, that would be the $10 would be worth it just to sign up if you think you're going to sell a Tower Garden or want a
Right.
Tower Garden of your own or whatever. So,
Yeah.
But there's no incentive now to sign up affiliates. Correct.
No,
There's no incentive for you to help somebody get signed up. You're just
Oh,
really, sharing with someone that, you know about a great product and they can get in at a higher commission structure if they're interested in selling them. I think the one thing that's going to be interesting is they said this plan is not designed for someone who's just going to buy their own tower. This is designed for somebody who really wants to sell towers. So it's not, okay, I want to buy my tower and I want to get, let's go down to August, after August 1st, get 18% off. So I'm not sure how they're going to enforce that or how that's going to be communicated, but they made it pretty clear. This is not like in Juice Plus world where people just have their own product and they get it at a discount. They're really looking for people that want to be, quote, quote, resellers or affiliates. So we'll learn a lot more tomorrow night. They'll have more information, but I just thought while we had a few minutes, you know, 4 or 5 of us could talk about it and I could give you some heads up. I think that it's all going to be good long term. I just think change is hard and it's a little bit different than what we're used to. And, you know, I like the Tower Garden product a lot, and I think I will always be selling it. I'm very excited about it. And there's some things that I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that we're splitting off from Juice Plus. But on the other hand, I'm trusting our leadership team who, you know, I've been around 15 years now, and I believe that they're doing this for the growth of the product and they're not hurting us in the meantime. So those are my personal thoughts. I don't know, they may surprise me. It may not be as good as I think, but right now that's the way I feel and I'm kind of sticking with that. So any other thoughts before we adjourn and turn off the recording for Laura? I'm going to stop the recording.